Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Real Talk Journeys of Resilience and Success. And today we have the following topic. So, balancing life and business, how I juggle family, work, and personal goals. And our guest for today is Yessi Rodriguez. So, she will be joining us in a few minutes. But let me first introduce myself. So, hi, everyone. For those who doesn't know me, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama, but according to reside in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry, and I'm a proud digital business owner. I want to also remind everyone that every Tuesday and every Thursday we have our live webinars. So if you want to learn how you can start your online business, all you have to do is register in the website that appear on the screen with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to watch the webinar. So on the webinar, you will learn how the online business plan works, and also you get to hear from the panelists who will be sharing their journey, and how this online business has transformed their lives and why they decided to start their online business. So let's go quickly find out who were the hosts and panelists from yesterday's live webinar. So our host for yesterday live webinar was Marlita. She's a manual osteopath. We also have as first panelist Taylor. She's a registered nurse and ER nurse. We have Jennifer, a school bus driver. We have Karen, a former wedding planner. Ashley, a construction manager. Chital, educator. And Kelly, ex-principal recruiter in MNC. So as you see, all different walks of life, but they decided to take that leap of faith to change their lives. So our live webinar has subtitles in 5 languages: Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. And our replays have subtitles in several languages. And just to remind you, live webinars is every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. EST. All right, so let's go back to the stage and let's bring our guest for today. Hi, Jessie. Thank you for coming.
Hello. Hi everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Jessie. Thank you for accepting. So, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
All right. Yes, sure. Hi everyone. My name is Yesenia, but everyone knows me as Jessie. I'm a nurse by professional, original from Cuba. I live here in Ontario, Canada, and I'm a proud digital business and mentor online. So yes, that's who I am.
Thank you, Jessie. Okay, so let's start with the first question. Okay, so what are some specific strategies or routine that you adopted to effectively manage your family responsibilities while building and growing your online business?
Wow. You got to put me to think here. No, seriously. One thing I learned is that, a structure, I would say, a structure brings freedom. So, I work, I was, when I started business, I was working, I was part-time nurse, but I was working at full-time hours as a nurse. Plus I was running the digital business. So time is really precious for me. So, so I created a routine that helped me to stay present both at home and on my business. Let's get a little bit on deep. So I dedicate mornings or evening depending on my nursing shift. If I was working on days, I was spending 2 or 3 hours and the business in the afternoon. Create what I was doing. I was like doing some tasks for create contents. I was doing mentorship calls. I was checking on my ads. I was checking on my team, making sure I was doing some training at the same time. I use also simple tools, like planners, books, put it in like a to book myself in for like 2 or 3 hours. So I was consistent doing that for my business, and was a way as well to stay focused. So I was doing that because I already have a routine, for that square time, like the 2 hours or the 3 hours. And I was using and learning how to use a different apps. I was able to do bash creations. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense, but
Yes.
I was using Canva, and well, I'm still using, all of this. And it's after you get used to them, it's easy to do a content because it's already created. You just have to change your topic or the specific things that you were talking about, or but you already have the backgrounds, already have how you want it, or your brand colors, so I don't have to start from the beginning every day, because that it will make it harder. So I was trying to make
Yes.
my day a little bit easier, but what really helped me was, I would say, was knowing my why, and I think that's one of the things that we always ask to people that start this business, is like your why, because um it keep you connected, and it push you to keep going. I came
Mhm.
from a culture where family is everything. So I moved from Cuba to Canada, for a better future, and this business is helping me to build that. So I still remind me myself every day about that. So I treat my business like a task. I was not like just like a hobby. We all start it all started like a hobby, but if you started putting some serious, you start putting some focus and treat it like a task, it will make it better. But I would say that's it, because that's what I want. I want family back. Like, I want to have more time with my family back home. I have more time with family here. So I want to spend that time with the people that I love. No, I didn't want to have that at work. So I was like, in a way, this looks like a lot of work, but in at the end, I was actually having I was able to be present on those time, So yeah, so this is one the strategy that helped me in the beginning. Am I still using those strategy right now? So
No, that's good. That's good. So this is good, for the people who also, are going to start their online journey. Because I think one of the things that we struggle at the beginning is creating that work-life balance, because we already have something established and then we add the new online business to it, right? So you need to create those boundaries even with your loved ones at home. So they understand, during this time, we're going to be working. So and then you allocate time for them because you don't want to neglect them either, right? So I love what you say about the content, creating templates to save you time because you only change, the text on it, and then you can create more content out of it. And the creating scheduling the content, that's another one, the batch content. um what was it, what else you mentioned there? Yeah, and you mentioned remembering the why. Yes.
yes,
The
that's
why,
really
the why.
important.
Yes. I totally agree with you because at the beginning, like it might feel like a little bit overwhelmed because like all this is new to you. And you're trying to finding balance, and finding ways to make it work better. And then when you're finding those struggles, remembering always your why you started to do that will help you to keep you on track. And then like you can say, like you say, utilizing tools that will help you, to keep those time management. For example, you mentioned that you block your time. um, I use, for example, like when I need to meet with someone, I use Calendly. But at the beginning, that was a struggle for me because they
Because
were
you
reaching
don't
me all
know
the
all of those
time.
apps,
Yes.
so you learn how you go.
Yes, exactly. So here we are, like showing you and giving you some tips so you don't make the same mistakes that we did. So that way you are better prepared than us, in your journey when you decided to take this journey. It's okay. So let's go into the second question. So was there a mindset shift or key realization that helped you find harmony between your personal life, career, and business commitments?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that I don't know, maybe the way that I was raised, or the way that my generation, well, I'm not that old, that we were raised, we always were like, you have to be good, you have to be good at like a student, and
Mhm.
after that, after you're finished, you have to be good at that, and that was just my time block. And so when I started doing the business, all that, I thought that I have to be choosing between being like a good wife, or being a dedicated nurse, or being, a successful business owner. And like, but I couldn't do all of that at the same time. So it was a little hard in the beginning, because I was like, oh my gosh, I have to be a good wife, I have to clean and do all the things that we normally do, no? But then doing all the stuff, I was like, oh, and like, you put in the background, like a little bit, the business or your nursing career or whatever, And I think that the biggest shift was that, learning, um, and realizing that I don't have to pick, I can be all three. I can be a good wife, I can be a good nurse, and I can be a successful business a woman, So it take a little bit time, to think about it, but that's one realization that I say that I found myself, because we all different, you can depend of your history or your culture, then you will start seeing those barriers, because we were not all raised the same. So of course each person have their own journey, and as long as I stop waiting for, have that balance, um I was start focusing on how to align, how to get it together, because I understood that I was capable enough to do all of three, as I said before, with all those things that I've been learning with the business. We talked on the first question. I was able to block my times, and okay, I was working in the morning, I was working in the afternoon, I wake up at a specific time, I have time with my family, breakfast or lunch depending on the schedule. But then I was able to work on my business, so at the end I was able to do all three. So it's all about founding that harmony. That's the right word.
Harmony,
you
yes.
know yeah, or that connection. It's not about having perfect schedule, a perfect life. It's about making sure that you are doing your daily, task that is leading you toward your final yourself, or your final future. When I would say, when I start seeing it, I started aligning with my values, and I started understanding what do I really want and what I really believe. I started seeing my freedom, I started seeing more my family, I started seeing my business growing, and I started thought that, like, that bridge that we all, like, that bridge that we thought about it is not there. It's all on your mind, so you have to work on that. It's not an easy journey, but it's something you can do and you work on it. And the amazing thing is, like, how well do you like, how do you enjoy the journey as well, so each person is, of course, going to be different. So you are, or someone else is watching us, they're going to start the journey. Of course, they're going to have another mindset shift, another realization or harmony or whatever, their personal life change or whatever, but the key important here is that you have to know that you have to pass, or you have to pass that mindset shift. You have to have that to realize what you need to change. You have to change, like, you have to do something to change your habits. So I
Mhm.
would say that.
Thank
I hope I
you.
give you a little bit of insight. I don't know.
Yes, you did. Thank you. And this is really good because, like I mentioned, when we start this journey, it's all trying to find that balance, because we're putting something new into our life, and because we put in something new into our life, we also bring bad habits, many times. So along our way on our journey, we start learning, how to manage the time management, how to be better, it's just like a learning process as we go through. And like you mentioned, the mindset shift, that's the other one. Realizing, the things that we need to work on. So that's the first step, to be able to change, to have that mindset shift, is realizing, okay, what is it that it's making me stop from moving forward, or what is it that is making me, not able to think differently. So once you realize those things, then you got to find out, okay, so this is my problem. I found out what is my problem. So what I need to do to
to
be
get
able
there.
to fix that and change it to be different, in a positive way. So those are things that we learn here in our online business, through training, through Zooms, through the community. People that are ahead of us, who also guide us, and because they have been in the same position as us, like us right now, we're sharing with you guys that are watching us. So when you get to our journey, you're gonna remember us, oh yes, they mentioned this, so I gotta try to figure out, and you're finding your ways, you're finding different ways, because all of us, we are different, so something that maybe, in terms of time management might work for Jesse, it doesn't mean that it might work for me. I mean, there's some things that are similar, but not everything, right? But it's just finding the ways that will make your life easier and be able to manage the three. So I love that you say, like, you saw that you only can wear one hat instead
Yeah.
of, different hats. And then once you realize that, it makes you, more powerful, because
You see
um
more on the horizon, you see more
yeah,
your future, you see more opportunities because you're not just stuck in one thing, but that's the thing. You have to realize that you're stuck. Then you start seeing change. If you will not see it, you will always keep that pattern or that same mentality that will not get you anywhere.
yes, that's right. Yeah. So we grow in this community, in this online, in our journey, we and like another thing that you mentioned, enjoy your journey. Yes, this is not an easy journey, we're gonna have our ups and downs, but the beauty of it is, learning from those setbacks that we might encounter, along the way, and also have that mindset shift, that yes, you might feel down for just a couple of minutes, or maybe one day, but what you have to do next is bounce back and continue your journey, because we all are human, we have to let go our emotions, but we don't have to stay there. That's the difference. We have to keep going.
Yeah.
So that's the mindset shift. um Yeah, well, I think we pretty much touched everything, the bridge, the realization, and you said enjoy your journey, and wearing different hats. So I love that analogy of that, because, it's like the moms, moms sometimes, uh, someone stay at home mom, they think that, oh no, I cannot do that. But, you're a mom, you
You're
do
already
so
doing
many
it.
things. Yeah, you're already wearing so many hats. So you're capable of doing it. So, to all the moms out there, don't think that you cannot do it. You can do it. You're already doing it, actually. You just have
And
to
you
believe
probably
in
have
yourself.
more successful than other people because you're already used to do so many things, to many tasks, and do it good and successful, so you can do it for yourself and your family as well.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Jesse, let's start with the next question for you. So, how do you handle moments when you feel overwhelmed or stretched thin between family and business priorities? And what advice would you give someone facing a similar situation?
Ooh, this one is hard, Sandy. I would say that it's a process and is hard, because we all not have the same experience on life. But before I start the business, let's just start saying that I was getting overworked and overwhelmed, and it was getting too much for me. I was doing that. Um, is I didn't know what to do. The only thing I knew at that time is that I didn't have enough time for myself. Like I will not allow myself to think that I something wrong with me. It's not that something wrong, but I didn't have time for myself. Because I just had to think that I need to pay my bills. So I was like, good or bad, raining or shining, forget about it, and just go to work, clock in, and get it done, get it paid, and I was getting a routine. So so I don't know if you have feel that way, or if someone have feel that way. It's hard, and these
Mhm.
questions is when you feel like, and you feel that way, and then you put on the burner, or like maybe I understand that word right, like you put it, like you forget about it and you put it on the back, it will get to the point that will all accumulate, and then it will explode in a way, it will damage your health, or it damage your relationship, or it will damage you really deep, one thing that I learned, I now I give myself permission to pause. Um, when I feel overwhelmed, and feeling overwhelmed is okay for everyone is watching us. It's not something that like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, like it's the end of the world. We all, sorry, sorry, no, we all feel overwhelmed at some point in our life, and it's not something like, oh, I feel overwhelmed like 5 years ago, it will not happen again in 10 years. No, it's something that it will depend in our and torn, or like busy life, okay, but it's part of the process, especially when people like us, like me, who are used to give everything to everyone, so you always feel like you're giving, but you're not. So in a way, you not feel, you feel like you're not getting something back. You're helping other people, but no one is there to help you at home, or no one is there to tell you, oh, you have a cold, sleep the night, you cannot do that because you have to go to be at work, or you have a family to feed, or your bills are coming and there is no time to feel sick, you need to go to work. I learned
Mhm.
that rest is not a reward, it's a requirement. So that's something that I learned, and the business teach me, because when I feel overwhelmed, or tired, or like it's a lot, I give myself that time to, okay, I need time, I need a space right now, thanks to God, they bless me with the business, they actually, I can say, I don't need to pick up chef,
Mhm.
I don't need to do that 12-hour chef, I'm okay with 8 hours and 2 chef a week or 3 chef a week, so all of that thanks to this business, so it's just now I understanding that I didn't know that before, that when you need rest, you need to rest, it's not like something that like, oh, every 10 years you need to do like a vacation of 5 days, that's more stress than the same vacation. So so well, you don't feel so stretching, so
Mhm.
I slow down, and I pray to God, I breathe, I remind myself why I start this business and why I'm here on earth, I also thanks to myself, oh, thank you for, like, for telling me that you're tired, so that means I need like to back up a little bit, like I need a little bit more time with my family, or it's just a pain, and I realized that this business had given me more life that had what is taking me away. Always remind that. So that keep me going. I also, when I feel that way, I would say that also reach to our community. Thanks God that we have this community. But I reach to a community. I think I reach. You're one of them. It's hard to open up to other people when you have issues and trouble, but the way that you feel welcome on this community, it give you that permission to say to someone that, hey, I'm having this trouble. I don't feel like I can, because the same person, the same this community is have happened or have done something similar, or have in a way have feel that way. So you are surrounded by people that want the same goals than you, and of course they have failed or are feeling, or they're being on that situation. I say, I mentioned to my mentor or my coach, because I know they are on the same path. I know they have failed the same way, or they have the same stories or the same pains they have been going through. So that's what I tell to everyone that is they want to start a business. We are not alone. You have a big community that we support you no matter what. Because remember, we're here because we are building something, something meaningful. We want something powerful that take time, that will take time, but at the end it's all worth it. So to anyone overwhelmed, I would say my advice is, don't let the pressure steal your purpose. Don't let that overwhelm take a, like, swipe you out of your feet. You don't need to do it all at once. Take your time and space. When you feel like you need to pause, well, pause, do it. And that's the amazing about this business, because maybe I didn't say that before, but it was a time in the beginning of my business, I took a whole year off, but at the end I go back. That's amazing. Like, that's what I love this business, this specific business, because when I pause and I back, I start in the same spot that I left it. I didn't have to start from the beginning. Like, I was right there ready to go, and I just needed to start. I remember, you don't have to be perfect. Like, imperfection is okay. Consistency, with the right support, and that support is our community. You will build a business and a life that it will guide you to walk the path of your life, or walk the path that I'm living right now. So yeah, so that's my little bit of giveaway. Maybe I complicated things, I think.
No, no, no. Yeah, that's very good advice, and thank you for sharing. You touched a lot of things here, and I think that's one of the mistakes that we tend to do. As a business owner, is that, and even like if you don't have a business, the same thing. You were saying, like you give to others, right? But we tend to forget about ourselves, having that time to take care of ourselves, the me time. So in that same time management schedule that we were talking about before, the balance, one of the things that we need to allocate time there is for our me
Ourselves.
time. Yeah, because that's what is gonna make us to recharge, our energy, and to keep pushing forward. But many times we tend to forget that. So remember, take time, make time for yourself to do the things that you love, and that will help you to recharge, and to have that balance, because that's part of the balance, to have time for yourself too. Otherwise you get burned out, and then you might get sick, or you might have problems in your relationship, because you're not yourself, because of the the stress that you have right now, because of all the burnout. That's one of the reasons, why a lot of people, that work in a regular job, and they come home, um, sometimes, they explode right away when someone says something to them. But it's because, they're having too much stress at work. They're
Mhm.
tired, and they just want to go home, and like, don't talk to me, leave me my space, I want to rest. But the family, they want to ask, oh, how are you doing, but they don't have time for that, and then overreact. And sometimes, they hurt their loved ones, because um they don't understand, what she's going, or he's going through, uh because of the work. Eventually, when they start seeing the same pattern, they can understand, they leave the space. But you want to make sure that you don't get to that point, because that really hurts relationships. And what you want to build is that bonding, family
Mhm.
bonding relationship. The other thing that you mentioned was to reach out to the community, and that's another thing that I really love, because um, this community gives you that emotional support that you need, and that's what I was mentioning before, and you mentioned too. We have the ups and downs in our journey, and when we're feeling down, that's when we can reach out to someone in the community that you feel comfortable, and then talk to that person, because they will understand what you're going through, because they have been ahead of you, and they're gonna be able to guide you and to help you bounce back. I encountered two times in my journey, where I'm grateful that, I have those two people that, where at the moment when I got my setback, and they were able to help me, to bounce back and shift that mindset that I was at that moment. So that's the beauty of being part of a global online community that gives you that support, not only technical, but also, in the emotional part. What else you mentioned? Oh yeah, another thing that I would say, you cannot say it that way, but it's learn to say no. And that's that was one hard thing that I had to learn, because I'm so used to say yes, even though, like I have so many things on my plate, I always say yes. But I learned on this journey, on this online business journey, I had to take a step back and start learn to say no, you know
And no, it's okay.
Yes, and I know it's okay. Yes, because is you gotta take care of yourself. When you say yes to everything, you're gonna get overwhelmed, because there's so much stuff that you're taking in, and then you're not gonna be able to handle all that. And then stress comes up. So learn to say no. That's the other thing that I would say. Um, and like Jesse mentioned, you need to rest. Yeah. So when you feel tired, you need to take that break. Take that break, because your body's asking for it. So listen to your body when your body says something. It's very important. And then once you have that rest, then you can continue back. But you need to take that pause sometimes to be able to recharge. Okay, so I think we have arrived to the end of our lives. So, so we hope so that what we shared today. Jessie shared her experience. On the topic that we have today, which is balancing life and business. How to juggle all that, um, and to be able to reach those personal goals. So, Jessie shared her experience. She shared some tips. So hopefully you have a little bit more insight, of what is going through once you start your online journey, and how you can implement some tips, strategies to be able to have that balance, and you don't make the same mistakes that we did, when we started. So that's why we are here today. So you get to have like a behind the scene of what's happening, so you can go farther and faster by us sharing, like the journey and experience, so you don't do the same mistakes. Saying that, we want to say thank you to everyone that has watched the live today. For those watching the replay, thank you so much. And also to our followers, thank you so much for being part of our journey, for believing in us, and for engaging with our content. To our guest today, Jessie, thank you so much.
No,
I
thank
know
you.
it was short notice, but you said yes, and thank you, for sharing, because really, this is a very good topic, because it is very important, and it's part of like our journey, as we go through, to be able to find that balance, so we're able to take care of our health and our mental, well-being.
Yes, and I hope so that with my journey, with my experience, I had give you our audience a little bit of insight, and something that they can reuse, or I make it useful on the life, and maybe say yes to the online space.
Yes. So if you want to learn how you do can start, how you can start your online business and start earning online. You can register in any of the websites that appear on the screen with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to watch the webinar. For those who doesn't follow us, you can also follow us up here on the top. So you get to know us a little bit more who we are and what type of content we post and more information about the business. So if you have any questions about the topic for today, or if you want to learn more about the business, you can put it in the comments or send us a message and we'll be happy to answer any questions for you. So saying that, if you want to watch and catch the replay from yesterday's live webinar, where you're going to learn how our online business plan works, and you get to have um, you get to hear the testimonials from members of our community who will be sharing, why they decided to start their online business and how this online business has transformed their lives. You just have to register there, and you will receive an email that will give you the link to register for the live webinar, which happens every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. EST. And also, you get a link to the replay. So just in case you can catch the live webinar, that's not a problem. You can catch always the replay and watch it at your own convenience. We also invite you to our private Facebook group where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. Um, so we're gonna see quickly, Jessie. I don't know if you want to help me with the hosts and panelists from yesterday's
Sure.
live.
Yeah. All right. So these are our hosts and panelists on last Thursday, April 25. Okay. So our host was Melita. She's manual osteopath. We also have Taylor, is a registered nurse and ER nurse. Jennifer is a school bus driver, and Karine, a former wedding planner.
Thank you, Jessie. We also have Ashley, a construction manager, Shital, an educator, Kelly, an ex-principal recruiter in MNC. So if you want to know how to listen to their stories, you only have to register any of the websites on the screen. And we have subtitles in several languages for the replay. And for the live webinar, we have subtitles in 5 languages: Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. All right. So thank you, everyone, again. We want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Friday for those who are on Friday, and happy and blessed Saturday for those who are on Saturday, and happy and blessed weekend, everyone. Thank you for watching, and until the next episode of the Real Talk Journeys of Resilience and Success. And thank you again, Jessie, for being here with us and sharing your story. So
Thank you so
thank you,
much. Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you for watching.